Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of A Talk on Titan. I'm here, obviously, as always, with Mr. Ben Goddard. But joining us today, we have Miss Larah in the house, Lala Fluffy Bunny herself from the YouTube channel Lala Fluffy Bunny. How are you doing, Larah?
Good. Thank you for asking. So, hi, guys.
Hi. So, obviously, I want to up top plug your channel. I love your reactions. I think they're a lot of fun. I love your reference to Eren and Eren. The way you pronounce Eren. Name pronunciations are always one of the fun parts of Attack on Titan. So I think that's a really funny bit that you have going on. But real quick, let's talk a little bit about how you got into the show before we get into these two episodes.
All right. So basically, Attack on Titan. I actually got into it before season 2 came out. So only when season 1 was actually out. It was either 2013 or 2014. And I've always been seeing it around, and I love horror. So I was like, what's this? And I was peeping it. So eventually I decided to just try it out, and I watched it in one day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All 25 episodes. I woke up in the morning, dish. Done.
It just goes. It's so crazy to think about because, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if my heart can handle 2 episodes in one day, just with how hard hitting each one is. But that first season is just a ride. It just takes you on a ride for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really cool, obviously. And then, did you start your reactions right away, or did you start right around?
No. My reaction started in 2016, actually.
Okay.
So no, not at all.
And then, real quick, your favorite character is
Levi.
The big Levi crew is here.
That's right.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
have 2 Levi stands in the house. I'm totally with it, especially after these 2 episodes. Ben, you just said that you don't know if you could handle 2. I don't think I handled it. I don't think I'm handled.
It's a lot, man.
That was a lot. I'm emotionally drained right now. I'm basically drained. I'm just drained.
And in no way do I want to short sell what happened in Japan last weekend. Like, I'm glad, like,
yes. And
everyone's
obviously
okay.
right now too.
Yeah, like they
now.
got hit with another one. I thought it was going to be delayed again, honestly. But why couldn't I have last Sunday to just revel, just talk mad shit about Zeke all show long, just to be like, you got your ass kicked again. Don't start nothing. Won't be nothing, Zeke. Like, why couldn't I have that Sunday? I couldn't have one Sunday to just be like, oh my God, something good finally happened in this show. That Levi just beat the ever-loving fuck out of this man. And I don't even, honestly, and even that much where we got Zeke's terrible actions again, turning all those soldiers into Titans, and then we got Zeke's backstory right after that. I'm it's hard for me to sympathize. It's hard for me to sympathize when he's ripping apart this woman to throw her bloody chunks at Levi as a weapon. It's hard for me to sympathize with that.
That's true.
Right.
I think that's my thing, and I didn't want to start there. Let's not start there. Let's rewind.
I'm just saying. Yeah, we can rewind. I'm just saying it's hard with these back-to-back episodes because it's a lot. It's a lot of roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah. For sure.
Let's go to where the episode started, Larah, which is another like big dramatic moment, and that is the Eren conversation with Mikasas and Armin. What did you think of that conversation? A lot of people might. I think the internet's gonna kind of have a moment, at least maybe later this week, or Attack on Titan Twitter or whatever, as far as like Eren, like, man, they're really trying to make Eren the bad guy here. Like, Eren has like, I'm losing sympathy for Eren every episode I go along. I don't know how you feel about that scene.
That scene was very, very tough because, you know, when you think about how Eren always protected Armin, this was like unimaginable. It's like, excuse me, what are you doing with your hands? Like, you can't be making Armin like, no. It was very, very tough for me to watch. But at the same time, for some reason, no matter what, I'm in complete denial about Eren's character. To this moment, I still feel like there's got to be something because it's like it's not adding up to me. So even here, you know, the whole concept of like, you have to fool your friends before you fool your enemies. Like, to fool your enemies. I have this at the back of my mind all the time. I'm like, even if he's doing this right now, I believe it's for something better for them and for the people he cares about. That's how I feel, honestly. And until proven completely smack wrong, for some reason I can't get it out of my head. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a
it
big
really hurt
possibility.
to see. It really hurt to see. And I hate that he was doing it, but for some reason I always felt like it must be for a better reason. So that's what satiated me, or else I was like really sad.
Yeah. What do you think, Ben?
It was tough, man, because like, and we always knew Eren, like we always knew Eren was like kind of either clueless towards Mikasa's like love, if she loved him as a brother, if she wanted more than that. Like that was always kind of like the fan theory, who shipped what, like all that stuff. But to hear him just regard, like, this was the trio. Like I remember watching season 1, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like so similar. And I told you this, it's like so similar to Harry Potter, like Ron, Hermione, and Harry. Like this is the trio right here. And then, it developed from there. And just to see him just spit in both of their faces, just like completely like, Mikasa, I've always hated you for some reason. And now I know why. And like the whole Ackerman thing, I do want to get into the Ackerman blood. And that's really interesting. But like, it was kind of lost in this speech of him saying, I hated you, Mikasa. And Armin, you know why we never got into a fight? Because I would beat your ass. And he did it right there. But man, Armin got the last word. I will say that Armin got the last word. He's like, who's really free? You believing this bastard? Or I was like, oh yes, Armin, yes. I do agree that what Lala's saying is that like you keep your, like what Pixis said to Yelena, all lies have at least a little bit of, or the best lies have a little bit of truth in them. So I do think Eren is lying to everybody. I think he's like pushing Mikasa and Armin away so they don't become collateral damage. Right. I think he's lying to Zeke about what their plans are. I think he's playing his own game now, and we don't know what that is, but I don't think he's in line with this sterilization, euthanizing, whatever word you want to use for the Eldian people. I don't think he's in line for that. I think he's got his own plan. I don't know what it is, and he's going about it in the most violent way possible, especially with his followers. Like we'll get to the Jaegerists as well. Like holy shit, man. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's playing 5-head up here. I don't know if it'll pay off, but I think I get what he's trying to do.
Well, let's go to that real quick because you mentioned the love that Mikasa had for Eren. I don't know. Eren kind of insinuated that wasn't love, that it was some sort of like protector trigger that he accessed by telling her to fight in that moment, because her Ackerman blood has this like enforcer protector ability to where they have to serve someone. Mainly the king, but essentially they're created to serve, or it's in their blood to serve and to be essentially enforcers and protectors for the king or for their king, I guess. And that little thing that Mikasa has in her head and that kind of instinct that she has for Eren isn't love. It's just that protector Ackerman blood. What do you think of that, Larah? Because I thought that was like a huge reveal.
That was a huge blow, because just when you think back, you realize how no matter what the situation, Mikasa always defended Eren. Like literally no matter what. You can remember in season 3, even with the situation that was crazy going on the roof between Armin and Erwin, like about who to revive, and then after just what was happening between Levi and Eren, and like even that situation, she wasn't like out of it. She just immediately still defended him. And obviously in episode 14, even when at that conversation that they were having at the table, she immediately just defended him. That was a trigger for me, because I was like, that is sounding really true, and I feel bothered by this.
It's tough, like because I love that choice moment when Levi like backhands Eren and like Mikasa like just jumps on him. You're like, oh, like this is friendship. Like you don't mess with it,
right?
Like, but I do have a question, though, because the Ackermans are the only ones that can resist the founding Titan. Why would they be assigned to the king of, like, to protect the king of Eldia if they can? Is it because they can only resist the founding Titan? So regardless of who the founding Titan, like if the founding Titan falls into the wrong hands, like they're entrusted to regain it or something? Like I thought that was like a curious like thing, that like the one group that can resist the powers of the founding Titan like is the group assigned to protect the king.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead, Larah.
No, it's fine. I mean, I actually did question that as well. I was actually confused about that, but what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also kind of makes me think about who they're chosen to protect, because obviously even Eren was like, yeah, you mistaked me for being the one you needed to protect, when in reality, it's not me. And then it made me think about Levi, because I was like, who's Levi's king / like, who does he protect? And I was like, Erwin, right? And I see a couple of people in the chat, like Classy Ulysses, say Levi has Erwin, Mikasa has Eren. And then obviously Kenny had Yuri. That makes sense to me, and I think that's why Levi always wants to kill Zeke. Like, no matter what happens, like, Zeke could be like the nicest dude ever, but he's still gonna be like, I promise I won't kill you. I'm gonna find a way to kill you.
And that ruins like half of Tumblr that has Levi and Erwin being lovers together, and it's just like this.
Or does it?
I'm not. I don't want to go that far. I don't want to go that far. But yeah, it's so crazy to think about, and it was done so well that right after he brings this up, and it's one thing to bring it up, it's another thing to like be like, I hate you for this reason. Like he definitely went overboard, and that's why I think he's trying to push them away. But just like right when Armin goes to swing, Mikasa just like it's instinct, just reacts and pins Armin, and she's like, I didn't even realize I'm doing this.
Exactly.
Like I don't, and so that was such a pivotal moment where we're like, oh my god, like Eren's not like he's not. Like I said, there's always some truth in lies, what Pixis said. So there is some truth in there about maybe the Ackerman blood, but I don't think he hates her. I think he's trying to push them away.
No, it doesn't add up. It does not add up for him to say, I hate her. Like, we never saw an ounce of that ever before.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And I don't think that's ever what he expressed. I mean, obviously, he might have expressed some sort of like annoyance, like, leave me alone because let me be my own man kind of thing. But I don't think that's hatred. And then also, we got a little bit of what my theory was when it came to Armin, as far as Bertolt being his feelings kind of in being placed upon Armin. And that's why he's still going up to Annie. And he still he's starting to get feelings for Annie. It's because Bertolt's memories live inside him, and that's also a part of who he is. Eren basically confirmed that. Obviously, we don't know if that's 100% true, but he made it seem like this is why you're doing this. Maybe you're the one who should be questioned. What do you think of that confirmation from Eren, Larah, as far as Armin goes?
It didn't occur to me at all. For some reason, I did not. I was always wondering, I'm like, why does Armin keep going there? Like, why? And I thought maybe it had to do with just, what happened in the past between these two, how he, clipped her and all that. But then after I saw, after what he said, I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And it does seem to, it's possible. It's possible, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, because I was speculating about why Eren has become so cold, and I was like, well, he's got the Founding Titan and the Attack Titan, probably two of the oldest Titan that have seen the most fucking heinous, like, history of the world here. Like, he's got literally the king of the Titans within him, the controlling one who has done probably so many unspeakably terrible things, and he's just seeing these memories played over and over and over, like, let alone, like, his father's, like he said in the episode, like, murdering children. He's just got generations of Titans within him, like, and battling probably for control as well. And so I'm on the side of like, I don't think he's lying about that. Like, I don't think that's part of the pushing away thing. That's the truth and the lies. Like, that's the truth. And then him beating Armin's ass is the lie. Like, this is why, like, I protected you. It's because this wouldn't be a fight. Like, that's the lie for me.
Yeah, I also want to quickly address the chat now that we have a couple more people in here. Obviously, guys, we are not manga readers. We stress and we plead to not even hint at anything at all, because we do like doing these conversations and discussions and reactions. So we would appreciate, just in case we do look over at the chat and want to look through your comments, we don't get accidentally spoiled. So another disclaimer there. because I want to give us a chance to have a natural ability to react and to enjoy the series.
Yes,
sorry
please.
to interrupt you, but I just had to say that because I'm always so afraid.
No, I was gonna say if you wanna mod me in chat, I'll be the one to look at chat because like there are just like certain things that I've gotten spoiled just by accidentally clicking on a hashtag or even just scrolling on the explore page on Instagram.
Just scrolling.
And one of them was I've always hated you, Mikasa. Like that got spoiled for me. That got spoiled for me, and so it was.
Too.
Yeah, so I was waiting. I was
lame.
waiting for that shoe to. Yeah, I was waiting for that shoe to drop. So like, it took a little bit of the wait for me, but just how even after him saying that, how far he went, like with calling her a slave and why I've hated you because you can't even make your own. Like he just like kept twisting that knife, and I was like, oh my god, like. Even knowing this spoiler, like, did not prepare me for this moment.
Right.
Yeah, any spoiler kind of, obviously, I'm pretty good at avoiding them, but any spoiler even then is like, I still get the feels, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of us expected, even if we didn't get it spoiled, that Levi would probably end up fighting his men. But even though we probably knew that was going to happen, I was still like, "Yo, this is nuts."
I actually didn't.
I
did not. No, I actually didn't. I mean, as soon as like he screamed, and I was like, "Oh, he's screaming," and I'm like, "Oh, the wine," and I'm like, "Oh, like that's the only time it occurred to me." Other than that, no. So
For me, let's go to that scene because to me, they were hyping it up the whole time. He obviously was eavesdropping on Levi's conversation, talking about how he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm done with Zeke. I'm just going to cut off his limbs and wait for someone to get here. I don't care who it is. I think he even said, like, let's give it to a Jaegerist. Is that what he said? Or did I misread that?
I'm not, I think he did say that. Yeah, I think
he was just like, let's just give it to anyone.
He was,
I don't care who it is.
Levi doesn't care. He's just like, forget the rumbling. This man needs to die. Like, he just needs like to die right now. The next
person that comes in on a horse, I'm giving him the beast fight. Just so it's not Zeke, because we know this guy's just shady. We know he's backstabbing us. We just don't know how he's going to do it. And Zeke is just like, cool, I'm reading the book. And then out of nowhere, he just starts sprinting. And obviously, we talked about that scene, Ben, but the scene where you just see him just running away into dust.
I'm just imagining Zoidberg. Did you guys ever watch Futurama? Whenever he runs, he goes, oh, boop, 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 boop. Like, it just like the corniest cartoon run. And the look, Levi, and it's right before, like the shit hits the fan and it becomes like super serious and tragic. But just Levi's look. It's like the look he gave Armin and Jean and Connie when he's like, "Why are you guys so tall?" It was that like that. It was like, what?
He was like, "What? What's going on?" Yeah, it was the what's his name, Itadori, and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, Yuji, absolutely. Or it was
they
like
were
that
doing
meme
the abnormal run.
Yeah, it was like that meme of that lady going.
Yeah,
like he's like, what am I looking at right now?
I'm really so happy I'm not the only one that noticed that because I made a comment on that too. That's so funny.
Oh, it was so, and it was such a funny moment. And then you knew it, like we knew it was coming. Like we knew the guys had drank the wine, and we didn't know. What shocked me the most is how many people are going to be if Zeke yells in almost any military installation. How many people it's infected. I didn't realize that. I thought it was, some of the MP higher ups and whoever was guarding in the forest. It is legitimately everybody except the scouts.
Right.
Yeah, no, pretty much everyone who's ever drank that wine on the island.
Because look at Falco.
Felt it. They felt it, right? Everyone on the island felt it. They at least felt it.
One of them.
Yeah. When I saw Falco, I was like,
and that's the thing. Apparently, it doesn't take anything to get this because Falco, maybe ingested it when he got hit with the wine bottle. And he said he felt like the sting, like the electric shock of it.
Yeah.
And so that's terrifying. Like how big of how far this has gone, like how many people have drank it. And just, again, I said it when they were on Liberio, when he told his team, he's like, don't die on me. And it's just the simple, because Levi doesn't express his emotions, but you saw the look he gave Petra after Annie killed her and what he did to Annie. And that's I told you that was my favorite Levi moment, was him just like, and then the same thing with Zeke after in Shiganshina, and then in Liberio where he's like, don't die on me. And it's just like, he cares so much for his men and the people and the women under his command, he cares so deeply and he takes it so personally when they die. And so that moment for me was so painful, having him fly around trying so hard to dodge and just get out of there. But they were like these amped up, super crazy Titans that could climb trees and jump and all this stuff.
Yeah, I want to toss it to you, Larah, but I kind of want to build it up a little bit. What you were saying, Ben, the way the show set it up in such a great emotional and cinematic level. Obviously, we get the camera backing up and slowly showing all the forest that's basically filled with soldiers turning into Titans. And then from there, we get a cutscene of how Levi allowed their soldiers to have the wine because he actually does care about him. And you're right, man. Levi's like an emotional dude. Like he doesn't show it, but he's a hyper emotional dude. And he's one of those guys where he actually gives a crap about his people and about the people under him. And he has a connection to them. So the scene where all of the Titans gather around him and you see him, all of them basically jumping him, and then it just cuts to Zeke just running away. We don't know what happens until the very end, but that buildup, Larah, as far as like Levi being surrounded, what do you think at that moment?
All I could think, all I was able to really think was, my boy has been through enough since the underground. Like we can't, like, that's all I could think of. I was like, why are you doing this to him? He's so cool and he cares so much. Like, I just, the fact that he always keeps a level head is one of the things that makes me so respect him so much. Is despite that, he just did what he had to do and he continued to Zeke. It's not like he never like drowns in the emotion, but like he does. And it's just, it sucks. It just really sucks. I didn't want to see him go through that. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
Ben.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like he's had to do it so many times. Levi's squad got, wiped out in season 1. He saw the town, get taken over by Zeke, and he almost like takes that personally too. And then season 3, obviously the entire scout regiment, like he's the only survivor outside of, like basically all our main characters are the only survivors.
And Mikasa,
and Erwin, his Ackerman protector, like his like in blood,
his king.
His king, his in my blood king dies. Like now, and how do Ackermans react to that? That's what I want to know. Is like
that's what I thought too. What happens if the person you're protecting dies? Yeah,
because he doesn't seem like he got assigned to Erens or Hanji or anybody like that. So it's just like he's gone through so much, and then just like the moment where the Titan's like going, and then it fades into the soldier's face. Oh, and just like the perfect shot which was all the hands reaching for the wine, and then it immediately fades into him in the middle of all the Titans. Like, Mappa, I don't know how accurate, like, panel-wise it is to the manga, but how Mappa has animated this season cannot be understated. It's so amazing. It's so cinematic. And just them, and then him, like, it cutting to Zeke running in the forest, and him, like, again, Zeke is always just like, I'm so sorry, I didn't want to do this, but you left me no. It's like, oh, go fuck yourself, dude. Like, you can give me another 3 seasons of Zeke's sad sack story. I don't give a fuck about this man.
I'll talk about one scene that actually kind of got me. And I didn't think it would, because guess what? You guys are Levi stans. You're talking to the biggest. I made like videos on this guy, and I wrote like essays on Erwin is like my GOAT. Like he's the best character in Attack on Titan by like miles. So I have no love for Zeke. But even the show got me, though. It did get me in one moment.
I will say, maybe if it was week to week, it might have done better. But back to back, I had nothing. Maybe on rewatch I'll feel it, but just like seeing just the blood of his own men covered on Levi as he's taking down Zeke. Like it couldn't have been. It's hard to pick between female Beast Titan 1 and Beast Titan 3 of which cathartic Levi moment there is. But Levi cutting the branches and this time Levi can talk some shit, man.
Oh no, Levi was a monster.
Levi talks shit.
He straight up was like the boogeyman. I was like, yo, Levi, like in the trees, like being like, I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, yo, this is like a horror movie. I'd be so scared. That's why I tweeted it out. I was like, Levi's the scariest dude on the planet. Like he's so freaking scary that to me, I was like, this is just terrifying.
Right. Do you have any mods in the chat?
Yeah, I'll get that in a little bit, but I want to do I want to talk about the scene where it shows Zeke basically being like, "Hey, Levi, it's been fun. It's been cool. But I'm going to leave you with your man. I know it's a lot to handle, but hey, man." And then all of a sudden he's right behind him.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? Because it shows you what happened.
I was waiting to hear the gear. I was waiting to hear the gear, and I'm like, there it is.
Man, it was so great. It like, oh God, like I was like there. I saw him like fly by real quick before you heard anything, and then you got the cue, and it was just him just like rub. It's like, what do you think you're doing? You don't think I could do this? I've sent so many men to their deaths. Like I've already basically killed them. Like, which oh my God, what a line. He's like, you don't think I've killed my men before?
Oh
like,
my God, yeah.
Oh, it's so painful. Yeah. And then just like, just right there, man. Like so many times, like he had the thunder spears. Just it didn't stand a chance. Like it's so crazy how Zeke is this royal blood titan, and everyone in Marley's so impressed with how well he does the beast titan, and he just gets his ass kicked every time by Levi. Like Levi didn't even sweat. He doesn't even sweat when he takes on Zeke. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to toss it to you, Larah, because I think that scene where we literally it shows like, I don't know, like 50, 60 Titans jump on Levi, and 5 seconds later, he's right behind Zeke. What'd you think of the way they set up Levi just taking out his crew in the blink of an eye and then just going right after Zeke?
I guess I wasn't sure if he was going to take them out. I thought maybe he would like maybe their legs and something to keep like slow them down, and then he would like just chase. I knew he would chase after Zeke. That was without question. I knew it, so I anticipated that completely. I wasn't sure how he was actually going to deal with his men until they showed it. And I was just like, you know, Levi does what he has to do. That's the one thing. So.
And then when he's taunting Zeke by telling him, like you said, Ben, like, you think you could escape from me? Straight up, like pulling like a Rorschach and like just every intimidating dude. And he just takes him out so quickly. Obviously, we get the hip hop song show up, and we're just like, oh, dang. Oh, it's Levi time with the hip hop joint.
God, the music in Attack on Titan is like the best. It's so great.
At that point, I was just super hyped. At the point when, like, I was all like in my feelings, but at the time when he was on Zeke, I was really hyped. I was like,
yeah. And again, he takes him out with the Thunder Spears and traps him, and really, really quickly, really easily, like you said, Ben. No chance at all. You say Levi 3-0 against the Beast Titan. I said 2-0, I guess, because the acting one didn't count for me, but I guess it counts. Whatever.
Hey, I'm counting it. I'm counting it as a win because now we know it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's fake, real, try hard, sweat, anger. It don't matter. Levi wins every day and twice on Sunday.
I want to jump to Flock real quick, but I kind of want to finish up on Levi when it comes to the title of this episode. The title of the episode is called Savagery. I believe it's called Savagery, episode 14. And to me, it kind of teases a little bit on a couple characters and their savageness, I guess. Obviously, Eren, with the way his words were pretty savage. And then Zeke turning Levi's crew into Titans. And then Levi torturing Zeke. I thought that, I mean, Levi's a savage. You can count him in savagery if you want. And then finally we get Flock beating up old man Keith with his new crew to show like almost like a gang style. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting indoctrinated into the gang and they have you beat someone up. What'd you guys think of the title of the episode kind of shadowing almost every character, even characters we like Levi, where I was like, yo, he's low-key savage right now, torturing Zeke and just being like, I don't care about your glasses, bro. Like, I'm gonna cut your feet off. And I was like, oh, this is mean. But Zeke did his thing too. So I was like, this whole episode is just pure savagery, just like the title says. What you think of that, Larah?
It had no filter. It was really like, they were just like, let's just make it nice and simple. And they did. And you can't deny that they really took it. They made it raw. They were really raw. They didn't hold anything back at all. No. It was such a smack in the face to us viewers too. Like, we know Attack on Titan's pretty raw. Like, it's been violent since day one. Like, we know how aggressive it can be. But to see this internally, like normally it was always like the Titans and everyone else, like, but to see it internally among the soldiers, among our fam, like Eren, and like it was just a very new angle on it. So I guess that was like what was really tough and a smack in the face. But I don't know. I mean, of course it was entertaining, but it was cruel. It was tough.
It was tough. What'd you think, Ben?
Exactly what Lala's saying is like in season 1, there was a lot of very shocking deaths. Like, when Wall Rose, or what was it? What wall falls in season 2? Not Shing and Sheena, but the second one. Someone on chat will tell me. But like, man.
Oh, that district. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the district.
The Boulder one.
Yeah, the bolt, like that whole.
Was that no, was it
Trost? Yes,
Trost.
Thank you,
okay.
Lala. Trost. When that happens, and we have all our hopeful rookies that are gonna like, oh, we're gonna beat the Titans, and then that first one jumps out and pins the guy against the bell tower, and then he's like the first, and then people just start dying, and it's like, like that's shocking, but we never really knew any of those people. It's like all these smiling faces and hopeful recruits and cadets are like dying, and it was like, oh man, this is tough. But yeah, now that 4 seasons in, we're just like torturing and like people that we know are like at risk of dying and people we've come to love, and we've seen their journey from Connie being 5'0" to 6'3" and betraying Levi's short kings.
That's so
and
true.
it's so true. That's still my favorite. I still use that thing as like a meme. It's like when did all you get so tall?
Yeah.
But just like so many different like emotions like being felt in this episode. Like exactly what Lala was saying. We go from Levi like just, oh my gosh, I have to do this again, to just being like, yeah, get him. And then just like the casualness of like Zeke ripping apart that Titan to throw it. Like that almost gets passed over where it's like, oh man, oh yeah, oh no, Zeke, oh Levi, oh we beat him again. Okay, the episode's over. It's like, oh my gosh, like all this happened within 10 minutes, but it feels so fast.
Yeah. What'd you think of the Keith scene, Larah?
Which scene?
The Keith scene where they're Keith is the trainer for the cadet corps.
Yeah, exactly. That was shocking. That was very shocking. It felt so disrespectful. I was just like, we all remember the whole like Sasha Patel, like we remember this guy, okay? And even though he was tough, but there was just so he was here, so it was just kind of like it was so raw to just see that blatant disrespect and how they just. But like it was to be expected. Like they killed the commander. Like they're betraying. It was to be expected. But it's the whole seeing it aspect that is just shocking.
Yeah. Did you guys get hints as far as Hanji? Because they really left the camera hanging on Hanji. I say the camera, but you know what I mean. They kind of closed in on Hanji a little bit, and I was like, because Hanji was doing like little twitches with her eyes. Was Hanji like just done? Like, I kind of had the impression that Hanji was like, you know what? I'm good. Just kill me. I'm not going to tell you where Zeke is. Like, I got that impression. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. When they kind of zoomed in on Hanji, I was like, is Hanji being like, you know what? This is way too much for me. I'm not going to help these Jaegerists. They're way too savage.
Oh, I would not. I'd be very surprised if Hanji gives up the location to Zeke, honestly. Yeah. Like, Hanji's about that life. Like Hanji's about that life. Like it is going to take some major torture to get any information out of Hanji. Absolutely, and especially it'd be one thing if like maybe before this Hanji would have said it, just like, okay, we can reach.
I think she was ready to say it. She was ready to be like, this is where Zeke is, but now she's like, nah, I'm not telling you, man.
After she saw it, like you can have all the cadets beat up on Hanji. She's not going to say anything. The only thing that I didn't like. I wish I would have seen, because Keith got at least 4 or 5 solid shots on those fucking rookies. What we did.
Well, he made it seem like he was like, he made it easier for them to beat him up. I think that was the intention of his line, where he's like, he knows that they have to do this in order for Flock to accept them and not kill them, because that's how Flock is right now. So he was like, I'm going to encourage them to beat me up just so this could be over with. So that's why he was talking shit, where he was like, yeah, I can take you on, you stupid kids. And then the kids were like, hey, what'd you say? Like, I think he did that on purpose to kind of like.
Good point, Ace.
That's a good point. Yeah, because I think they did show them get like a spunk after he said that. Like, they really did show us that. So
I think that was a purposeful thing.
No, that's such a good point, Andres. Like he definitely did that because he could see that they weren't gonna do it because that's such a shocking order to beat up your commanding
beat up an
officer.
old man. I'm not doing it.
And so like he definitely like he knows like this is the future, and like he's like, you know what? All right, I can at least take 5 or 6 of you. Like none of you can beat me up. Bring it on. And that's when like you saw the clench their fist and go after him. Yeah.
I think he did it on purpose to kind of bring it out of them and to just kind of like he knew that Flock might just like execute them if they don't do it. So he's like, I'm just gonna encourage them to do it and to make it easier for them to beat me up by talking shit. Finally, we get to the ending of the episode, which teases to our next episode, which we can spend less time on because it's Zeke. No, I'm kidding.
But
time. It is. Run out of time for the Zeke episode.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
But I do want to say the one moment that got me, and it teased the next episode, was the moment that Zeke said, "Where are my glasses?" I actually, low key, I don't know why it is in every movie in media, it's the most stereotypical thing, and I'm talking to 2 people who wear glasses. For some people, for some reason, I feel bad for people who like lose their glasses. Like if I felt it. I was like,
remember that scene in The Mummy?
Yeah, like that scene in The Mummy. But I feel like it's just a cruel thing to be like, oh, screw your glasses. Like it's so cruel. I was just like, bro, at least torture him with his glasses on.
Nah, fam. That makes me feel
like,
better.
At least give him his glasses that he loves so much. I don't know. I felt bad for Zeke. I did. I don't know what you think, Laura, but I felt bad for him.
I mean, that didn't occur to me, but now,
I thought that was mean. I was like, bro, at least give him his glasses, like his lucky glasses, bro. That's like his Wilson. That's a Castaway reference, but that's like his thing, bro. His glasses are his thing, and I actually felt bad for Zeke, even though
I felt bad for the sentimental aspect. I'm like, clearly that really meant something.
What I mean.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. Like he called out for his what did he call him? His mentor, or his teacher.
Father, didn't he?
He called him father in the second episode, but by then he just called him something else, I think, but by his name, and he called him mentor. And that's why, to me, CW Lebrec in the chat. Is it Casaver?
Yeah, Casaver. I'd say
something like that. Yeah, exactly.
But either way, I felt bad for Zeke in that moment because I think he also has a life and he also has these mentalities, and we get to see that in the next episode, where we get to see Zeke's backstory, Ben, and we get to see how Grisha basically tried to groom him into becoming a warrior infiltrator and just be a kid under constant like deception, where he's taught to lie and deceive his grandparents, where he's taught to reject any kind of pastime activity or actual things kids do, and try to become a warrior and violent and something that he's not. And he's not a violent kid, at least not when he was a kid. What do you think of his entire backstory in episode 15?
Go ahead, Laura.
I mean, obviously, as you guys know, being obviously a Levi stan and all that, I didn't come into this expecting to get feels for Zeke, but I have a soft spot for kids. I really, really do. Yeah. And just naturally seeing where he came from, even though it's just that, for me, that really changed a lot. I mean, I don't know, he came to the conclusion of, euthanasia and all that to like end the race and all that. But everything before that, I pieced it together, and I honestly felt like I couldn't blame anybody. I couldn't even feel like I could really blame Zeke either, because I felt like he was completely neglected at a young age, unfortunately, by his parents. He was constantly trying to become somebody like a savior, for his race and stuff like that his father was trying to, like you said, groom him to be. And, he lacked any form of like normal childlike experiences growing up, like you said, being a liar and all that. And then just naturally falling behind. He just actually wasn't that talented or wasn't that capable as like they would have liked him to be. And also when he finally found somebody, which was his predecessor, Casaver, yeah. When he finally found him, and he was able to like start, I think when he was a little older, he related to him more, but he started to see him as a father figure and all that, and he was actually able to have a good time with him. And then, from up until the moment where he he went to him and told him what's going on, and then he suggested tell on them. Whenever you get told that by someone you seem to really trust and connect more and almost seem more as a father than your own father, while you're already emotionally unstable and you feel like just really, really troubled, you can imagine he was scared, all that stuff, and he did it. You know, he was influenced to do it, and he probably, as a young kid, you don't necessarily think as strongly as you would when you're older. So it just, when I saw all that, I'm like, it makes a lot of sense, honestly. And then just from a young age, he started to see that he wanted the world to be different. He definitely wanted things to change. And even Grisha's own words was that, it like to him when he was younger, he's like, if you don't like the world, like change it, something like that. I think he said before. So it's funny how those words, I guess you could say, stick with him up until this day. But yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think, Ben, of his backstory?
Like I said, it was tough to watch this back to back. If I had a week, to digest and watch this the episode 14 a lot, then maybe it would hit differently. But just seeing him sacrifice all of this the forest squad and tear apart, just tear the girl's head off and rip her in half, it was very tough to watch. But it was Attack on Titan does so well with just points of view and perspective, because we got we grew up with Eren's perspective and oh, they're evil, they're just evil, and then just the first half of this season was oh no, this is what Eldia has to go through. This is why the warriors are who they are. They're brainwashed, and we're getting Falco and Gabby's perspective, a little bit of Reiner's, and now we're seeing Zeke's perspective of that. He wasn't treated as a child. He was treated as this tool. It's that was the only reason he was born, was to defeat Marley. He got no fatherly or even motherly love from his parents. He was just he's just used as this tool, this device. It's oh, this is all you're born for. And if you can't do that, why are you even here? Why do you even exist if you're not going to save your people? Putting this pressure on this. He looked like he was 10, maybe 11 in the flashback. Yeah. So it's just it's such a hard burden to bear as a child. For one, none of us want to let our parents down, just in that sense. But then to supposedly let your entire race down, your entire people down, even before you hit puberty, and then to not be, his mom says, oh, he tried his best, and his dad's then what was all this for? To be told that you don't have any purpose or meaning in life if you don't fulfill this one specific thing. It was heartbreaking to hear, and to find have him have a father figure in Kazam or Kazaizen, whatever his name is. I'm going with Kazam. I go with Kazam. Mandela effect. But yeah, it was tough to watch. And then Lala brings up such a good point, Grisha saying, if you don't like the world, you have to change it. And he took those words to heart, where it's one thing to change the world. It's another thing. He's literally going to change the world. He is going to knock off an entire race of people by sterilizing them through the founding Titan. And he's just the only way we can not suffer anymore is to not exist. The only way a child can be born and be happy is to not be born. That's one nihilistic ass view right there.
I was going to say, that's
crazy.
A bit much.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I definitely want to toss that to you, Larah. What you think of the whole, hey, let's just change our biology so no more people can be born. And I was I don't think that's the solution, but I don't know. What you think of Zeke's? We finally heard Zeke's plan, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just to bring up the point, I feel the fact, just based on what you said earlier, Ben, about how we had to witness him rip apart the Titan and stuff like that. Yeah. It just made me realize he already wants the whole race to end. So you can imagine he has no sympathy for no sympathy, but he getting rid of them is not an issue for him anymore, because that's what he wants to do, right?
Yeah, it's just a means to an end.
Exactly. So even when he was throwing the rocks and everything, you could see it's yo, I'm ending them anyways. That's my goal. So you could see now it just makes so much sense. But what you were saying, what did I think about that? I definitely feel it does not have to be the answer. This is definitely I kind of felt it was a running away, running away from the hard stuff. Like, this is hard, so we're just gonna get rid of it instead of trying to find a way to fix it, to deal with it, to da 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 da. He's like, let's just erase the problem. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely a weak or running away mindset. I mean, this show is so complicated with so much suffering. It's hard for me to say like they're weak, right? They've been through so much. I wouldn't call them weak, but it's definitely an easier way out, believe it or not. I find, to just say, like, instead of trying to find a way how we can integrate and get our people to be accepted by everyone, kind of like, I think Armin said it before and all that. He's like, why don't we just go over and show them that we're not scary, that we're not this. The problem with that, however, is that they'll always be able to turn into Titans, so people will always fear them. You can kind of predict that. So this is where he gets the idea of we just have to get rid of everybody. But it's definitely, I guess you could say, an easier way out.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I definitely felt like this is very much still Marley influenced, Ben, where I don't necessarily see it being any different than what maybe a Marley might be behind this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Zeke said this to like a Marley general or something, they might be like, yeah, go for it. At least it gets rid of you guys because I hate you guys. Like, it still doesn't solve the issue. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
exactly.
It still doesn't solve the hatred issue. The issue of what they're currently facing in Liberia. So I don't like it. I'm not on board with it.
No.
And I don't know if Eren, like you said, Larah, is maybe against it and he's secretly saying he's for it. You think so?
I'm not convinced with Eren, bro. I'm so not convinced with him. He can't fool me.
Yeah, but we know he wants to get rid of the Titans. We just don't know what that implies, if it's necessarily like, hey, I'm getting rid of my species by eliminating them.
Oh, yeah, because in my video, I did write that, actually. I was just like, I don't know if that would be possible, but I questioned it. I'm like, instead of like making them not be able to have kids, can we like remove the ability to be Titans? Is that possible?
Ooh.
I was like, is that possible? Like, that would solve everyone's problems.
Well, Ace, you saying it sounds like a Marley plan, because how did Zeke get the Beast Titan? He had no special skills. He wasn't in the, like, he had dropped out of the warrior candidates and was just chilling. He was just playing catch. And then suddenly, because he had this conversation with Kazaver, who's like, if I get the founding Titan, I would sterilize everybody. I would euthanize everybody. And then the guy's like, oh, I've researched Titans forever, and I thought of this idea, and that guy passed it down. Do you think he talked to like the Marley commanders? So. Like, this is this guy's plan. He's got the royal blood. This is our plan. This is how we get rid of all of Eldia, is through this person.
I don't think he necessarily told him, but I definitely think he might have been like, hey, trust me, this kid's got it. Like something like that. Kind of like the Reiner situation with Reiner and Galliard. Where just talk up Reiner and be like, hey, this kid's committed. He's gung-ho and he's a badass. I'm telling you, man, you just don't see it on the battlefield, but his brain is just crazy. And then him being talked up got him the armor titan over, what is his name? Porco? Yeah. Galliard. I think it's more like that, where it's more like you talk him up and be like, look how loyal he is. Look how elite he is. He probably... said, this is the one I want to inherit my Beast Titan. So,
and I wonder what that guy's Beast Titan is, because we've speculated that there's different Beast Titans.
See the Beast Titan. I
wanted to see his Beast Titan, because it's definitely not a monkey.
Giant giraffe.
we got like the clue that it's Zeke's throwing ability that goes into his Beast Titan now, and we've speculated that it's a monkey because of his little doll that he grew up with. Yeah. And so I was really curious about what. Yeah. Pure speculation, obviously, could be wrong, but we're definitely right. I'm really curious of what that guy's Beast Titan was, because he wasn't even fighting. They were off to war, and like, you don't think, like, if it was anything like Zeke's, you definitely would take that thing to war. Zeke was like the deciding factor in the war in the beginning of the season. But so I'm so curious of like what his Beast Titan was.
What do you think of our theory, Larah, as far as like different Beast Titans can be different beasts? Because that intro in season 2 of Attack on Titan, when you see all the beasts lined up and they look like dinosaurs and like elephants and rhinos, and I was just like, what if you get to like pick your beast?
I definitely don't think it's like a conscious decision. I think it's
maybe like a scientific thing, like maybe like a DNA of like a creature I don't know. I'm just speculating because I was like, you're right, Ben. Why didn't they take him? Like, was he a giraffe? And they're just like, bro, we can't use a giraffe in battle.
Come on, bro. You're a dolphin. Bro, like, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna climb up you and just be
yeah.
like, it's not gonna happen, bro. So
yeah.
you picked the giraffe. That's what you wanted. Like, I don't know. What do you think of the old Beast Titan and
honestly, I've never actually really thought that far about that, so I'm not sure, but I enjoy listening to you guys talk about it. So
it's just ridiculous theories that I had where I was like
it's just like in if you watch the season 2 intro, it's got the Beast Titan running with like, you know, like a T-Rex, a pterodactyl, like all those different, like an elephant and stuff. So I'm like, maybe that's like the lineage of the Beast Titan right there. But it's got to be something goofy as hell if he's not fighting. Because I feel like most giant forms of animals would be pretty good in war. So it's got to be something like he's like a giant lemur or something like that. Like, I don't know.
I still think he's a giraffe, but that's just me. Just because I don't see a lot of use for it. But obviously the whole plan of the sterilization is something that only right now Yelena, Eren, and Zeke know. How do you think Hanji, Armin, and the rest of the crew are going to react to that, Larah? Or you think they're going to be any kind of on board, or maybe one of them might be on board about that plan?
I don't think so. For some reason, I don't think so. Like, not at all. And we already feel like, you know, Eren probably isn't also, you know what I mean? So I don't think so. That's nah. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Let's talk about the ending and then we can finish up. The ending of this episode is something that I actually thought of right before the ending of episode 14, which was Levi putting that Thunder Spear bomb inside Zeke and being like, hey, if you move, it'll blow. And my first thought is literally what happened, where I was like, Levi, you're awfully close to him to put a grenade on him. Like, you're literally like a foot and a half away from him. Isn't that a little bit counter? I don't know. I just thought that was the first moment where I was like, Levi, that's not that smart, bro. You're putting a bomb on a guy, and if he sneezes, it's going to blow and you're going to die.
Well, hopefully not if he sneezes, but I'm sure he believes Zeke would not kill himself. You know, I'm sure he would put himself in harm like that. So I'm sure he was convinced, you know. Sure.
But what'd you think of that moment as far as like Levi possibly, potentially falling into that grenade? Obviously, I think he's going to survive, but I definitely think he's going to be injured. We know Levi can be injured. He hurt his ankle all through season 2. He was out with a LeBron James ankle twist. So I don't think he's dead, but obviously the grenade and then Zeke just pulling the grenade, the Thunder Spear. What'd you think of that last scene, Larah?
I did not expect it. I didn't expect it personally because I also didn't think Zeke would really do that. It seems like he just went in this like impulsive mode and just kind of reacted and stuff. But I actually panicked. I went full panic mode. Like I even cried. Okay, I cried, like I legit cried. I panicked. I saw something fly with the cape and I was like, what? And then after I had to go back and like make sure all his limbs, like I'm telling you, I was so scared. I was so scared. Like I literally panicked. But I think he's okay actually. I mean, as okay, like alive. He probably is hurt, obviously, but I think he's fine. I hope.
Yeah, what do you think, Ben?
It's like the beauty and the deceit of anime, because I thought that, you know, when he killed Zeke with the bomb in Liberio, I'm like, did he just die? Yeah. It's like he pulls the pin, it shows Gabby and Magath, and it blows up. I was like, you do not see him fly away. But then in this one, he gets caught up in the explosion. So I'm like, no. You can't do both. You can't do both here, where he's like zipping and zooming, and then suddenly he can't. But no, if there should not. If this is how Levi goes, I do wonder how far you can push the limits of Titan healing, and I don't know. Zeke probably knows more about Titans than anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just like, how long is it going to take Zeke to heal? Because he was pretty messed up from getting Thunder Speared by Levi moments before, and that was, through the protection of his armor, let alone one in him and it blowing up there. So if Zeke is probably still alive, I think Levi's still alive, but I don't think any of them are going to be doing anything for a while. Like, I think the Jaegers are going to have to find Zeke and bring him to Eren, because he's going to be messed up for a minute.
Yeah.
That actually scared me. That scared for some reason. It actually scared me. I was just like, how is Eren and stuff going to respond to this situation if anything happens to Zeke or whatever? Because this could impact whatever greater plan. That I don't know why that scared me. It's just I'm a little scared of Eren now. I don't know what he's gonna do sometimes.
It's crazy.
So yeah, like that scared me. I'm like, just don't hurt Levi, please.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Is like I think Levi's gonna be out of commission for a bit. I think he'll survive. I don't think he'll die like that. I still think it was a little dumb. Sorry, you can't just put a bomb on a homie right behind you, man. He's right behind you. Like you can't.
I do think he'll be out of commission because otherwise there wouldn't be a threat from because we forgot. Reiner, Peak, and Galliard are all on the island right now, and if they were there with Levi, it'd be no. He could, boom, boom, boom. it'd be over. Yeah. But now that Levi's out of commission. Then there's going to be a fight.
Sure.
Because Jean's pretty good, but he's not Levi. Like the three people that could have taken the Warriors on 1v1 were Mikel. Is it Mikel? Who am I thinking of? Mike, Levi, and Erwin.
There's a Latin homie.
If only.
Yeah. I was like, yo, where are you at?
Mike, Levi, and Erwin were probably the only three that could take on a Warrior Titan by themselves, and they're gone. Like, two of them are dead.
Still around,
oh yeah, Mikasa. That's what I forgot.
Mikasa for sure.
With the Warhammer, like straight up.
That's true. Yeah. I can't believe I forgot my girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's gonna be Zeke healing for a minute. If anything, they're just gonna find his head. It's gonna be David and Prometheus.
I think it is.
Where they're just like, hey, man.
It was like right here. It was like right here. So at max, he's got like his torso like right here.
And it's just like growing out, and you're just gonna see his entire system just growing out of his body.
He will not be the Beast Titan for a long, long time. That's for sure.
Yeah, which kind of implies that maybe they might have to wait. I mean, they were gonna wait anyway for Historia as far as her pregnancy and all that. But maybe this will kind of go hand in hand with the pregnancy and the baby and all that.
Well, this just leaves a better excuse for him to get eaten. Like
or that. You're right. You're right.
Sorry, I fucking hate Zeke. I fucking hate him.
Man, hey, we saw his backstory this episode, so you got to feel for him. Either way, Larah, thank you so much for joining us. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram by the same name, Lala Fuck Bunny.
Awesome. And obviously, go check out her reaction video. When is that going to be up?
It's already up.
Oh, it's already up. There you go.
It was up before this one.
No way. There you go. So go check out her reaction to. Is it 14 and 15 or just 15?
And both.
Both. Awesome. So go check out her reactions to these two episodes. We highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun seeing you react to those.
Before we go, I want to. Before we go, I am curious. What do you like? We're obviously getting a part 2 or a movie or something.
Yeah.
Like the story's not concluding in 23 minutes. No. So what do you guys think is going to happen in this final episode of season 4, part 1?
Probably, I'll say probably a cliffhanger to maybe Peak and Reiner showing up, and maybe Galliard, and maybe some sort of fight inside the island, and then maybe just a cliffhanger to that. But I definitely think we're going to get a part 2. There's no way we're not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm so curious, like with everything going on with the Jaegerists, with Flock, with Hanji, like what they're gonna do. You know, Eren still hasn't met up with Zeke, so I'm glad we're getting a part 2. I'm very scared because I know the final chapter of the manga comes out April 9th. I've already muted everything on Twitter. I'm gonna mute even more words because something's still like Zeke and Eren still stuck through on my trending, so I got to go mute those as well. But yeah, I'm so curious of what happens next week and like where we go from here, because so like these 2 episodes, like it was nice watching them back to back, because like especially with the cliffhanger after Levi beating Zeke, I was like, oh, there's more, cool. But I was just like, oh my god, like knocked out emotionally.
Yeah, what do you think, Larah?
No, I think what you said makes sense, because there is, Reiner and Peak. They're still there, and I don't think they want to get into that like too much before like part 1 ends. So I do think like the whole cliffhanger aspect, and then they save that for after. So I'm not sure entirely. I feel like next week will most likely probably consist of like the aftermath in terms of like, Flock, what's going on with Hanji, probably Zeke and Levi, all that kind of aftermath cleaning up, whatever Eren is doing. But then I think what you said about the cliffhanger with Peak and Reiner, I think that's probably what's going to happen, honestly, so that they can really start into something a bit bigger, but next time, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's what I think it is. And I just posted your reaction in the chat, by the way. I just found it. So everyone can just check it out right now.
Thank you.
That's the first thing you can do.
Thanks.
Either way, thank you so much for joining us. Ben, where can everyone find you?
Everywhere at the Ben Goddard. Lala, thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome having your perspective on it. I appreciate it. I love our guests, and I'm excited to see. I wish we could get like everybody back here for the finale. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Obviously, guys, you can find me at Squad Leader Ace. That is an Attack on Titan reference, and I will be doing more Attack on Titan videos on this channel, as well as Jujutsu Kaisen videos.
Yes.
We stand Jujutsu Kaisen. Todo. Either way, guys, be on the lookout for that right here on this channel, First Cut. So if this is your first time watching, subscribe to this channel. That is the best way to get in contact with us. Either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we're peacing out. Peace.